Wow, what an incredible finish to the 2023 Iron Bowl. Jalen Milroe to Isaiah Bond in the final minute for Alabama to take the victory. Just an insane Iron Bowl. Another crazy one at Jordan Hare. Right now, guys, I want you to give me your one-word reaction to this game. Mine? Jeez. Jeez, man. We cannot have afforded to look that bad in this game. And I might get a lot of flack for this, but this performance was absolutely terrible. We couldn't stop anything. They didn't really pass for a lot of yards, but man, they ran it down our throat. And this late in the season, style points matter. And you just cannot afford to look bad against bad teams. Even if we go on to beat Georgia, not enough has happened in the top 5, top 7, just anything above us. You know, right now, Washington State, they're tied in the final minute of the game. We'll see how that finishes out, but even that might not be enough. Texas blew the crap out of Texas Tech yesterday, and they're still above us, and they have the head-to-head. So, man, it was a win. It was great, but at the end of the day, not the best performance for Alabama. My takeaways for this game: Jalen Milroe, we'll talk about him first. Man, he was so indecisive in this game. How many times did you, I know I did, was just yelling, run. There were so many times where either nobody was open. You know, the offensive line gave him plenty of time tonight, and there were plenty of holes for him to use his athleticism and take off, and he just chose not to until that last drive at the end of the game. You know, he made that 3rd and 20, I think it was, made it 4th and 1, and we ended up getting the first down on that. You know, everything else happened after that, the touchdown, and bad snap by Seth McLaughlin. Don't even get me started on that. But, man, Jalen Milroe today, you know, his stats weren't terrible. 16 for 24, 259 yards rushing, 2 passing touchdowns, 107 yards on the ground. I'm saying all this like he didn't run throughout the game. But, man, there were so many times he could have had 200 yards on the ground. And in games like this, all those little things matter. Alabama just did not look put together at all in this game. We'll get to it later. The rush defense was just absolutely awful. The worst it's been all season, frankly. You know, the last 3 games haven't been great. You know, LSU, Jaden Daniels went crazy running all over Alabama. Kentucky, they shut them down for the most part. They had 2 rushing touchdowns. They just punched them in. And then that long run at the end of the game for 70, 80 yards, whatever it was, they ended with 95. So that long run at the end of that Kentucky game was pretty much all their rushing offense. But then Chattanooga goes for 100 yards against us. And then today, man, we give up 244 yards on the ground. They just absolutely torched us. Something Nick Saban has said in the past, we couldn't stop. It was like shit through a tin horn. We could not stop them. Peyton Thorne, my God, dude is not good. And he just ran 57 yards for him. It felt like more than that. Hunter, their running back, 93 yards for him. Their backup running back, 85 yards for him. Our run defense has been good this year, but the last few games, they have fallen off. And when it comes to a team like Georgia, and, you know, if we end up beating them and get blessed to be in the playoffs, some craziness happens. The other teams, man, Michigan, they can run the damn ball. And I hate Michigan. I would hate to lose against Michigan. So you got to figure that out, man. I don't know where or really when that started, because the first few games of the season, you know, Texas, you know, had a decent amount of rushing yards, but, man, Texas had 105 rushing yards. This is the most rushing yards Alabama's given up in a game, previous being LSU, and most of that was Jaden Daniels, by the way. So in the comment section, guys, this is going to be the pinned comment. Grade Alabama today against Auburn. I'll give them a C. I thought it was pretty bad. Sure, it was gritty. Sure, they won. Shouldn't have won. And I know a lot of people that would tell me that. My dad texted me at the end of the game and said, we didn't win this game. We survived this game. And I don't think anything could sum it up better than that. So in the comments, Grade Alabama today against Auburn, A, B, C, D, or F. All right, guys, I want to tell you about our sponsor here today, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They're the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. No more playing against thousands of other players, pros, sharks. It's simple. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. With basketball season here, now you can pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League. This is a league created specifically for combo projections that include 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, you can pick LeBron James plus Travis Kelce at 10.5 combo, 3 points made, and receptions. So all those guys have to do, LeBron and Travis Kelce, 3 points made, receptions, they just have to go more than or less than 10.5. Do you want to play alongside some of Prize Picks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can find community plays now under the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in Prize Picks community each week. Prize Picks even offers the reboot policy. So if your entries stay alive, even if your player gets injured. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second half, your player is rebooted. So Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with injury insurance policy. That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. We've seen so many guys go down. Joe Burrow, for example, goes down in the first half of that Ravens game, and you think your picks just go out the window? They don't. That player just gets rebooted. So right now, guys, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use promo code CLNS for your first deposit match up to $100. I'll repeat it for you. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use promo code CLNS, all lowercase, for your first deposit match up to $100. Now, the penalties in this game, it's something that we've harped on all year long. In Alabama, 8 penalties for 72 yards. That's too many. 2 touchdowns taken off the board because of penalties. A holding by C.J. Dupree on a 4th down play that Kendrick Law went for a touchdown on, and then the illegal forward pass by Jalen Milroe. 2 in this game, man. What are you doing? I don't understand how things like that happen. Amari Niblack had the other touchdown on that play. He was like 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. What are we doing? And then I would love for somebody to explain the offsides on 4th and 2 to me. They got 3 guys moving at the snap. That's an illegal shift. Now, the only thing that I can think of is technically the illegal shift happens at the snap. And if we jumped off sides before that snap happens, then the illegal shift technically never happens. That's the only way I can wrap my head around, but CBS did a terrible job explaining that. They were going to get Gene in there to explain it, and typical CBS just dropping the ball on everything. I'm so glad the SEC championship, I believe, is the last SEC game that's going to be on CBS. I cannot stand watching games on CBS. But back to the original take. Penalties in this game. Man, we got away with one at the very beginning of the game with Kendrick Law getting away with that face mask. It was a block in the back, but it was a face mask too. Got away with that. But man, these little things going forward cannot happen. It is the end of the season. In a season that you already have 1 loss, that team is above you. And you still need miracles to get into the college football playoff. You cannot go play Georgia in the SEC championship and look like this. Because Auburn is a trash team. They are bad. They lost to New Mexico State last week. You cannot play that bad against bad teams. I don't care if it's the Iron Bowl. I don't care if it's in Jordan-Hare. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to look that bad against that team. I don't care about all the allure around the game. At the end of the day, it's players on the field, it's coaches making calls, and they have to execute those plays. And today, Alabama, just on defense anyways. Offense, kind of up and down. You know, they looked some good some drives. They didn't finish some drives off. Will Riker missed a field goal, another one, his third of the year. And I believe that's 3 in the last 2 games. I believe he missed those 2 against Chattanooga. I think it was Chattanooga. Either way, the original point, you cannot look this bad against a team like this. It's not going to help you. In the committee's eyes, a committee that already sees you as vulnerable, it's not going to help you one bit at all. So right now, we're going to do it. Who gets the game ball? I think you got to give it to Isaiah Bond. I mean, he caught the touchdown at the end of the game. Thank God. I don't know how Auburn lets that happen. I mean, it's 4th and goal from whatever. I don't even know. The 26-yard line, I believe it was. Give me 1 second to look this up. From the 30? Dude, 4th and goal from the 30. I had this big rant about our playoff hopes, and I'll talk about our playoff hopes. I had this big rant about how they're absolutely shot, they're gone, 10-win seasons, I don't care about it. We lost to a terrible Auburn team, and I don't have to say any of that stuff. Washington just beat Washington State on a last-second field goal, so there goes that, gift from the gods. That didn't happen today. So right now, who gets the game ball? Let me know in the comments section. Is it Jalen Milroe? He's still over 300 yards total today. I mean, he didn't play terrible. He was just indecisive a lot. And I don't know why. So let me know in the comments section who gets your game ball for Alabama today. All right, the 4th thing, I'll go ahead and talk about our playoff, just the overall picture. Washington, like I said, they just won today. Oregon won yesterday. Texas blew out Texas Tech yesterday. None of that is good for Alabama. You looked bad today. And I wrote this in the script for our preview video. Obviously, Tom was on the video, but either way, it was one of our keys to the game was you got to go out there and kind of blow out Auburn because the committee already sees you as inferior to Oregon, to Texas. Texas beat us, so I get that. To Washington. Ohio State lost today, but their game was close, and it was 2 versus 3. So they're probably not going to fall past Alabama. I don't see that happening. So you got to go in, you got to beat Georgia, and we'll see what happens from there. I still don't know, even if we beat Georgia, if we get in the college football playoffs. And at the end of the day, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. There's nothing that you could really complain about. If those other teams win, we're probably hoping for Oregon to come back and beat Washington in the Pac-12 championship. We're hoping for Oklahoma to beat Texas in the Big 12 championship. And that's probably all you're getting. That's probably the best case scenario. Florida State maybe could lose to Louisville. Louisville lost Kentucky today. So, if Louisville goes in there and beats Florida State, that would be good for Alabama as well. Definitely need that. Definitely need that to happen as well. I don't know if it's gonna, though. I really don't. Florida State just kicked off, I believe. Yeah, about 15 minutes ago, so we'll see how that game goes. Florida could upset Florida State today. Who knows? That would help Alabama out immensely. So where it sits, I don't know. Let me know in the comments where if we beat Georgia today, if we beat Georgia in the SEC championship, does Alabama get in if all those other teams, if no chaos happens? Does Alabama get in with 1 loss? Let me know in the comments section. Y for yes, N for no. And make sure you guys subscribe right here at Roll Tide TV.